Good evening and welcome to another episode. I have been bouncing for close to an hour. I have a trampoline, a mini trampoline, and I put it right up next to the side of my home here. And so I'm close to something that I can grab onto in case I lose a little bit of my balance. But you know, I don't really bounce very high. I just kind of go up and down like this, almost not really even letting my feet off of the surface, that I'm simply just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And while I'm doing that, I am typically listening to a podcast. And it always is a podcast for the most part. There are a few exceptions, but it's usually a podcast around some sort of spiritual study because, as you know, this channel is certainly about spiritual study, and I spend an incredible amount of time every day, or not every day, but certainly all week long in a certain amount of spiritual study. Today I've done a little bit more than even normal, and I'm thrilled about that. And the reason that I'm talking about this is that I was standing on my little bouncy thing, and I was looking out at the mountains and the palm trees and the clouds, and I was just going, I'm just going to bounce here and appreciate what I'm seeing. It's stunning what I'm seeing, and I'm going to see if I can turn this enough so that you can see what I am seeing. And I hope that that worked. And why that is so important is that it's really one of the main topics that I reference on this channel all the time, and that is being in the present moment. But it's even more than being in the present moment. It is actually in the moment of standing in appreciation and awe over what's in front of me. Just awe at what's in front of me. Now, a lot of people might say, well, that's all fine and dandy for you, Mark. You live in this beautiful place, and I don't necessarily live in a beautiful place, and I have to somewhat disagree with that. I don't think that there's any part of the planet that I don't see some amount of beauty. There are places that it's a bit of a struggle, and it certainly is a struggle when we're looking at parts of the planet that have been damaged or destroyed by the human condition. So that's difficult. But every spot has its beauty. And so for me to sit or stand or bounce, I was bouncing, that's right, I was bouncing. To bounce and sit in the appreciation of the bounce, and to think that I'm breathing and that I'm actually standing and that I'm actually balanced. And it's so, oh, it is just so valuable to come back to the present. It's just so valuable. And you know, there's all kinds of things going around. There's an airplane landing. The sky is beginning to turn its beautiful red as the result of the sun setting to the west. There's one of the major thoroughfares in town is a half a block from where I live, so you hear that background noise going on as well. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. While I was bouncing, a little rabbit came out from under my house. There's lots of rabbits around here. Ah, the sky is getting more pretty all the time. And I always, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I've mentioned them before, but years ago I used to study Abraham, as in Abraham Hicks, no affiliation, quite a bit. And a lot of their teachings I have integrated into my life. A lot of their thoughts about stuff I've integrated into my life. And one of the things that they talk about is the purpose of their life is joy, of our life is joy. And I would tend to agree with that. But I also know another purpose of my life is to clean. And I am particularly talking about in terms of cleaning via the Ho'oponopono practice. And I know that you're saying, oh, Mark, you were just talking about the present moment and now you're talking about cleaning and now you're talking about joy. And you were talking about looking up at the sky and seeing how magnificent it all was. So, what the hell? You're talking about all these different things. So I have to say that the reason that I can have a moment of joy, the reason that I can pull myself back into the present moment in my bouncy stuff is mainly because of a lot of my spiritual practices, but definitely in terms of my Ho'oponopono practice. That in and of itself has probably been the biggest influence in me coming into the present moment. You can see how red the sky is because it's reflecting on my home at the moment. It's just lovely. It's almost too difficult to even do this particular video because there's so much beauty going on at the moment. But there's also beauty in doing this video. And and there's two planes. Oh, wow. There's so much beauty in doing the video as well, because I'm sitting here and I'm inspired. And I want to be able to bring that inspiration to other people as well. I've been very frustrated with myself of late in the last few weeks about not quite getting enough done, not quite getting the extra things that I would like to get done. And today I had a big morning, and I acknowledged that. There was a stressful thing that I had to deal with, and I came home from that. It was about 2 hours I was gone. And I came home from that, and I just said, you know what, Mark, chill. Just chill. Just chill. And I did. And I got myself back to the moment. And when I was done, I had my lunch, I took a nap, I got up, and I sat down and read. And I actually sat down and read one of the things that had been on my list of my frustration things that I wasn't getting done. And I sat down and read. And it was effortless because I had let go. So what are the themes here? What are the themes that I'm talking about in this episode and almost every episode that I do on this channel? Live in the present moment. Pay attention. Live in appreciation and gratitude, or get there as much as you can. And clean. Do the cleaning. Do the cleaning. Clean up that energy, and so that one can experience cool things and spend an hour bouncing up and down, looking at a mountain and the clouds. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Bonne journée.